If you're a person who watches more adult cartoons, you've probably seen shows like The Simpsons. You've probably also seen certain episodes of it where, because Homer works at a nuclear power plant, there have been some nuclear waste barrels on screen. Now, I myself enjoy the absurdity of nuclear waste being a glowing green ooze that occasionally gives superpowers in cartoons. However, I have also known that this isn't the reality of nuclear waste and that it is stored much better than this instead of just being dumped in landfills or bodies of water. Everyone ought to know how good nuclear power is at providing energy to people across the country, yet they don't trust it due to misconceptions expressed in media and entertainment such as The Simpsons. In the next few minutes, I will explain to you how nuclear waste is removed, packaged, and disposed of safely and properly to protect people from radiation. I will also present to you multiple sources dealing in nuclear energy that give more details as to how and why nuclear waste is processed in this way. Firstly, what do plant workers do with the uranium rods when removed? According to the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, spent nuclear fuel is safely stored in specially designed pools at individual reactor sites around the country. In these storage pools, they are left in them for about 2 to 5 years in order to cool off from the heat of the reactor. Afterwards, they are removed and stored permanently in specialized containers meant to hold in the radiation emitted by nuclear waste. Now, what are these containers and how do they contain the radiation from the waste? Well, according to the Nuclear Energy Institute, these containers, or casks as they are better known by, are large steel reinforced concrete containers. It is the steel reinforced concrete layer that is able to properly contain the gamma radiation emitted by the nuclear waste, which is known to be harmful to humans. According to the World Nuclear Association, high-level waste is stored for about 50 years before proper disposal. This is done so that the high-level waste can lose most of its initial radiation to become a safer, lower-level nuclear waste. Lastly, this waste needs to be disposed of in some way, but where exactly do you put it? There are two options. One, as stated by the Congressional Research Service, is in the absence of a permanent geological repository for high-level nuclear waste, commercial nuclear power plants have been storing spent nuclear fuel on site, basically meaning that they don't necessarily go anywhere once processed. The other obvious answer is to wait for available land space or a place similar to it to fill with nuclear waste casks. These areas typically lack any significant vegetation and are far enough away from urban or suburban areas as to not cause any societal damage. Coincidentally, there are more sites being opened up in recent years, one of them being a repository in the Yucca Mountains in Nevada. So now you've seen the process by which nuclear waste is stored in pools, packaged in safe containers, and disposed of properly in landfills to avoid damage to people and the surrounding environment. Now that you know the truth about nuclear waste disposal, you can make more informed decisions when it comes to nuclear power without fear of environmental or societal damage.